Hey everybody, it's Alex from Jones Farms Coaching here in Vancouver, Washington. And today I want to talk to you about drawing from concealment while seated. Now this is something that I do, I practice, not often as I should, but I do get practice in. And the reason being is because one, I drive a motor vehicle, but I'll get to that later. But the main reason why I practice drawing from concealment while seated is because I spend a lot of time going back and forth into downtown Portland. And part of that trip is me being on a train where I'm in this exact position, right? So when I'm sitting on a train, I'm always going through a crisis rehearsal. I'm always using my situational awareness and thinking the whole what if, right? So what if someone comes onto the train with a gun? Or what if someone comes onto the train with a knife or starts to attack me with one of those weapons? I'm going through all of this in my head. So I need to be able to access my gun, be able to draw my gun and deal with a threat, a deadly threat, if it comes about while I'm in a sitting position. So one of the things that I do when I'm sitting on the train is I make sure I always have my bags next to me. I never have anything in my hand usually. I may check my phone here or there, but mostly my hands are free. One of the things that I also like to do is I like to kind of prepare my, what do you call it? I like to prepare my garment. So you may see me on the train. I may be tugging at my garment kind of like this, right? Because I know that I'm going to need to, defeat that garment in order for me to actually access my gun. So I'm going to always prepare my garment for that access, okay? Now, make sure you're not having anything in your lap because that's going to impede your draw as well. But the whole goal of being prepared and prepping everything is to be able to access your gun, okay? So in this position, I can access my firearm, which is right here, okay? Hopefully this is not making too much noise in my mic, but I need to be able to access this firearm, okay? So as you're sitting in a seat, you want to kind of go through your mental exercises thinking where you are, what may happen or what's going on, what are you seeing. You want to play as many things out in your mind as you can so you can have a better reaction to it. The other reason why I like to practice in a sitting position is because when I'm traveling in my vehicle sometimes. So sometimes I catch a train to a certain point in Portland, like a park and ride type of thing. Then I would get into my truck and then I would drive home. And usually I'm still stuck in traffic. So I like to have my gun, or I like to have my garments also readily available where I'm sitting here. And the seatbelt is underneath my garment, right? And the gun is easily accessible. All I have to do is just pick up my garment and go to the grip of the gun. So when you are drawing your gun from concealment while seated, the 4-point draw still applies, right? So you still have to access and grip, which is 1. You want to be able to rock it up, which is 2. And then 3 is marrying the hands. And of course, 4 is pointing the weapon out. Now, here's the thing about being seated. You got to be very, very aware of elevation, okay? And what I mean is, if you're going to practice it in many different ways in context of elevation. So for example, if you are seated, chances are that the person who may be coming to attack you is probably going to be standing, okay? So when you access your gun and you're able to draw, if you're pointing your gun straight ahead, right, because that seems like the most logical thing to do, the truth is your threat is probably standing. So you're probably just letting off rounds in somebody's pelvic at that point, which in actuality are not bad shots. But I want you to think about the elevation of your actual threat in comparison to you being seated, okay? So when you practice, imagine that, all right, and access your gun, draw, and point up like this, as if you were going center mass on a torso or a chest, okay? So keep that in mind when you're practicing, but this is a skill that you should be developing and practicing as much as you can, okay? Because this could be from your car, this could be in a train, this could be in wherever seated position, you may be in a restaurant. All these things may come into play where you need to access your gun. If all you're doing is dry firing and standing with your gun, you may be faced with a situation where the threat approaches you and you're sitting down. Okay, or you may have to plan a counter ambush in an IHOP or a Waffle House or something. I don't know. But you need to be able to make sure you're accessing your gun, getting it out, and getting on target, wherever that target may be, either higher elevation or low elevation. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go through a couple reps just so you can see this. And then I want you guys to go out and practice it. So access the garment, get that gun out, get on target, okay? And you can work through this very, very slow. You don't have to do this extremely fast, okay? Just work on your touch points and getting that gun out, okay? One more time. Remember the elevation, okay? There we go. Cool. You even might want to practice doing it with one hand, right? You may be distracting something with this hand, right? Somebody may come up on you and they have a knife and you may have to grab their hands while you grab your gun, right? So also practice doing it with one hand. So using this hand to distract or deflect or block, at the same time you're coming up to get a one-handed draw, right? And then you can put your rounds on target as such. So that's the basis of it. You know, it's a basic skill, but I think it's a skill that every concealed carry, every self-defender should be developing, should be maintaining, should be trying to hone, because you never know when you're going to use it. So what I didn't mention was this is a new channel. I need your support. So please hit like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell to get more content like this. With that being said, y'all stay safe, stay vigilant. Peace.